Hey guys, welcome back to another video. In this video, we're going to be learning about lists. So what are lists? Let's think back to the real world lists that we all use. Lists can be anything from a set of numbers, letters, or words, etc. In Python, lists can be multiple items put inside a variable. So lists can be started with a square bracket, and you can put as many items in there as you want. And it can be an integer, a string, uh, a boolean, or even a float. When you're writing code, there's multiple ways to access one item inside of the list. As you can see here, I have a list that has the string 1 in it, the number 1, and true, the boolean true. So here, when I say print x and then square brackets 0, I'm going to print this first term in here. So remember, in Python, terms don't start with the first term. When I put 0, 0 is the first term. If I put 1, it'll select the second term, and so on. So let's print this and see what it prints. So I selected the first term, which using the calling method, and printed it. You can also do it with the second term, which would print the number 1 again, and if you did the third term, it would just print true. Now, there are many ways to remotely change a list without actually having to add anything here by yourself. One way to do that is the .append function. So what .append does is add an extra item into the list at the end of the list. So here I have the list X, which has hi in it and hello world in it. Now I'm going to append the string hi2 into it. Let's see what happens. So it's going to print the first list along with the extra item that I added to it. Now let's say you want to add another item into the list, but you want it in a specific location inside the list. .append only adds it to the end of the list. .insert, on the other hand, will add it to a specific location you ask it to add it in. So here, I'm inserting the string hi2 into the second position, which I put down as 1 in here. Because remember, the counting starts from 0. So when I put .insert 1, comma, the string I want to add, it's going to print hi, hi2, and then hello world. Now, as well as adding things to lists, you can also remove them from lists. So in this list, I have 4 numbers, 1, 2, 3, and 4. I have the function .remove with 1 inside of it. Now, if we run it, it's going to give back the list as 2, 3, 4. So as you can see, I removed 1 from the list. Say the list contained one string called hello world. You could remove it by writing exactly what it is into the remove parentheses. And now it'll give you an empty list because we removed the only item here. You can also do a few other things with lists. So in this case, we have a function called the .join function. Here I have a list of 4 different items. All of these are strings. I'm going to set the .join function equal to the variable y. Now the .join function works a bit different. You're going to put the list x inside the parentheses, and in front of the .join, you're going to add what you want all of these items to be separated by. So I want it separated by this dash. Let's see what happens when I run it. So it's going to print out all of those items in the list and separate them only with a dash. Now it doesn't only have to be dashes you can separate it with. You can change it to separate by comma. If you don't want it separated at all, you can just leave that string blank, and now it's going to just put it all together. Oh, and one more thing. Dot join only works with strings inside the list. Lastly, we have the dot sort. Lastly, we have the dot sort function. Now, the dot sort function only works with numbers, and it basically does what its name suggests. It's gonna sort all of these numbers from least to greatest. So in this list, we have 1, 3, 2, 5, not in any particular order. When we run this, the dot sort function is going to take all those numbers and put it in an ascending order. So it goes from 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 5, 6, 7, 8. That's it for today's video. In the next video, you'll be learning about dictionaries and slicing lists.